Philly in the building. What's up? What's up, beloved? Peace, 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 peace. Philly, Philly. What up, beloved? I was on early. I was out in the woods and shit, but it disconnect. My phone had died or unalive. So I'm back. I'm back in the building. Hold 1 second, y'all. 1 second. 1 second, y'all. I can't see y'all comments if y'all commenting. Hold on. Bro, you should do a panel. Pan- Yeah, my phone unalive. My phone unalive, y'all. I was out in the wilderness. I had to run back to the car and speed back to the crib. My phone unalive. How do you do a panel? How do you do panels? I don't know how to do panels on here. I know how to do panels on TikTok because it's set up that way, but on YouTube, I'm not familiar with how to do panels. I would like to do panels. I don't want to do all the talking. You think I want to do all the talking? I know some people do the thing where you could call up, like you could call up and stuff, and but I would have to set up a number because with all the trolls up here, I don't want everybody having this number. So I would have to set up a like a text app number. And I think you would have to call my other phone, ask Harlem. I bet. Oh, StreamYard. I got StreamYard, I think. I got StreamYard on here. I got StreamYard. The brothers hooked me up with StreamYard. That's you, Kai? Talking about ask Harlem. I think that's Kai. Or WhatsApp number. Yeah, connect that with your YouTube. Okay. Yeah, I got StreamYard. I do got StreamYard. The brothers had me do StreamYard to go live on a live. Am I familiar with Bro Sanchez? Bro Sanchez? Nah. Marlo, what's up? Good to see me back. Yeah, good to be back. My phone died. I was out in the wilderness. And it's crazy because it started pouring when my phone had unalived itself. It started pouring down crazy. I was still kind of good where I was at, but it started pouring down crazy. So I had to like truck it. I had to jog back to the car. Luckily, I wasn't that far from the woods because they don't let you go live. The internet don't work way back in the woods. So it took me a minute to go I'm live, Pookie. So I had to get back out the woods because it won't let you go live. So it was luckily that I was close to where civilization is. So I didn't have far to go. Cause if I would have been like an hour in the woods, I'd have been drenched. So it wasn't that bad. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. So yeah, I'm back. I'm Kels from Rochester, New York. My Sandbox brother up here from a different. Wait, from Rochester, New York. My Sandbox brothers up here is different. Respectfully, I be chilling, looking up Dipset from okay, from '07 to 2012. Okay, okay, okay. When you said Axe Harlem, I thought you mean Harlem Legend. That's what you was talking about. That's why I thought you was Kai or China Brim when you said Axe Harlem. But Harlem definitely know everything there is to know about the streaming and all of this. He been teaching me a little bit. So that's why I thought you was either Kai or China Brim. But I appreciate y'all for joining, man. We was having a good conversation, and then the phone went out on us. I asked him how to do the panels. Yeah, he gave me StreamYard. I use StreamYard to come on his platform. So I have it in my phone. I do have StreamYard. So if I hook up StreamYard to YouTube, then y'all be able to come through YouTube, and YouTube don't trip about that type of stuff. I'm figuring. Because I did see people up here with panels. I remember when Harlem Shake was just two black fellas holding me upside down, shaking my money out my pockets. Double tap the screen. Yeah, if y'all could, that'll be what's up. Y'all could double tap, subscribe for more. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Subscribe, y'all. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But basically before the phone unalived itself, the basis of the live was, protecting your energy and stuff. And people had good questions, and we was into it. And then the phone cut off. You know what I'm saying? But we was having a good chat, and basically what the discussion was guarding your energy. You know what I mean? And the main reason, one of the important reasons, the Stole Spirit breakdown was a trip. Oh yeah, I mean, it is. It's a lot. It's a lot to digest. Um, it's a lot to overstand. What? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, the soul and spirit thing is a lot to digest. However, when you become aware of these things start to make sense to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you could read anything. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with the internet these days. You have a lot of brothers who read a lot of stuff, and they can articulate what they read. They can remember most of what they read, and then they regurgitate it back to the population or to the people as facts. When in reality, it's something that they read, right? But when the creator or the all in all puts things in your life and make your life this synchronistic pattern to where things start coming into your life, and then you are forced to adjust to these things and learn from experience opposed to reading something. Then when people come up here telling you about what they read and what they believe because they read something, it's like, yo, Kels, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, beloved. Inshallah. Thank you, man. Shakar. So, you know what I mean? When somebody come back up here on these channels and they're telling you what they read, it's a whole lot different from when somebody telling you they read something and somebody who's actually living that experience. It's like a drug counselor. The best counselors are former addicts. You know what I mean? Because a former addict has walked in the shoes of an addict. They've experienced the actual being an addict. So they're the best to tell you certain things because they experienced it. Well, it's the same thing with spirituality. It's the same thing with being down here and going through spiritual warfare and fighting off demons and casting out demons and cleaning up your energy and watching spirits jump in and out of people. When you down here going through it, it ain't about what you read and what you believe because you read something, then when you've really been in the spiritual warfare your entire life. And then when you read something that you actually experience, GP was good, beloved. When you read something that you actually experienced, then it clicks like, oh, okay, that's why this happened, or that's why this happened, right? So when somebody come up here telling you what you read, what they read, I don't care if it's the Quran, I don't care if it's the Holy Bible, I don't care what books they read, and they come up here telling you, yeah, well, I have this standpoint. They gathered their belief system based off of something that they read, and it resonated within them, and then they held it as truth, and then they come up here trying to tell you what the truth is when it's really something they read, if that makes any sense, or something that resonated with their spirit, and they agreed, their spirit agreed with a lot of the things that they read, and then they take it as fact or truth, and then they'll come on here and try to battle you with what they read. I don't go through that, because when you experience stuff, and then when you read something and it sheds light on what you experienced, man, can't nobody dissuade you or persuade you away from what you've been going through, right? That's like wherever you from and somebody telling you about where you from because they read it. I don't care if they're a psychologist, I don't care if they're anthropologist, a historian, I don't care what PhD they got. They can't tell you about where you from and what you've been through. They'll try, but you can't tell somebody who's actually lived certain things anything, because they're going off of what they read and they're going off of what they experienced, if that makes any sense. This is one of the best spiritual platforms, very informative, knowledgeable in all different aspects. Much love and gratitude. Keep on shining. I appreciate you, Tommy. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you, man. For real. You know what I mean? All I'm doing is reminding y'all. That's it. Like I'll be reminded. I every now and again the universe will speak through another human being in the form of angels, human beings, family members, podcast, a radio station, something might be on TV that you thinking about and it just pop on your TV. That's just the universe or the all in all reminding you of who you are or what you have to do or telling you something. And the more you pay attention, the more it tells you. The more you pay attention to things, and whether it's the time of a day or something that a child might say, or something that somebody, a conversation somebody having driving by in a car, and you catch on to something in that conversation, it catches your ear. Pay attention, because that was a message for you. You know what I mean? So when I get up here, I ain't teaching nobody nothing. If you hear and what I'm saying resonate with your spirit, only thing I'm doing is reminding you. That's it. The universe is using me to speak to you. Now, there's going to be people up here that's going to say I'm crazy, or this is witchcraft, or you know what I'm saying? I'm not vibrating, or whatever the case may be. It ain't for them to hear. It ain't their message. It ain't for them to hear. I'm not their messenger, or I'm not here to remind them. They might be a new soul. They was meant to be whatever they are, whether it's a devil worshiper, Christian, Muslim, Jew, whatever they are is what they were meant to be. And that's what resonates with their spirit. That's it. But for us old souls who have been Muslims, Christians, and Jews 1,000 lifetimes, done been here 1,000 lifetimes, messing up, coming back. For those of us who are old souls, that certain dogma don't stick to our spirit because we already experienced it. You know what I'm saying? It's like when your children watch cartoons and stuff, or you see somebody watching Sesame Street. You know what I mean? If you watch it from an entertainment aspect, you're not gonna be entertained because you already seen it, you already know it, you already watched Sesame Street before. A lot of the stuff that people be involved in is on a soul level is Sesame Street. It's for the babies. You know, you can't feed a baby steak, it needs Gerber. You know what I mean? So if you pass Gerber, you know what I mean? You passed that already. You've been there already. And it's okay. And that's another thing about us old souls, man, and those who are really filled with love and light and wisdom. Man, you're not gonna bust your head to change what somebody believes. Why would you do that? You understand where they're at in their development. That's where they at. You can't take a kid out of first grade and teach them, calculus. You can't bring him to a college professor. The kid is in the first grade. He has to go through the first, second, third, fourth, fifth grade, sixth grade, then go to high school, junior high school, and then you trying to teach them PhD stuff. They ain't even out of first grade yet, man. So you can't be upset with them if they're not ready for what you talking about. Even if they master the first grade, or they master grade 1 through 6, and then they still try to come with what they learned, and you're like, okay, I hear what you're saying, and it's okay for you to feel the way you feel, but you can't tell me nothing. I've been through the first, second, and third grade already. It doesn't resonate with my spirit. It doesn't make you wrong. That's all you know. That's all you're ready for, and that's okay. Just do everything that they tell you to do from the first to the sixth grade, and you're gonna have your slice of heaven or hell, whatever it is you believe happens to you at the end of this. That's what's gonna happen to you. But if you believe in heaven and hell and you don't practice all your tenets, then you're more than likely going to hell because you didn't practice all your tenets. So before you come to somebody and think you're going to change the way they think, then you should best to be practicing all your tenets before you come and say, man, this is it. Jesus is the way. And is that, are you doing what Jesus said to do? Because how are you over here telling me what Jesus said to do when you ain't even doing what Jesus said to do? You're going to be held accountable for that. And why are you trying to tell me something that you're not practicing? You're not even practicing what you preach, right? You're not. I'm doing my best to practice what I preach. That's all I could do. And I'm not even preaching to you or teaching to you. I'm just reminding you. I'm giving you conversation that resonate within your spirit that you could attest to, and you could say, okay, that makes sense. Or that's why I'm going through what I'm going through. Or yeah, that's me. I'm a chosen one. I'm the black sheep of my family. I'm the one that always get caught. I can't get away with nothing, but just why I'm always good though. Like I'm always all right. I don't know how it would be happening for me, but it always happened for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm either loved or I'm either hated. Either people want to be around me or they run from me. Why do people dislike me that don't even know me? And then people love me that don't even know me. What's so special about me? What's going on down here? I'm trying to figure this all out. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure this all out. All it is you back down here for your 1000th lifetime, and you here to figure it out, to vibrate high, to return back to the all in all as either an angel to come down here and pull more souls back to the all in all, or maybe you just might just be ready to return and be that infinite light and love structure inside the all in all. Maybe you ready to just go back. Or do you go back and come back as an ascended master to help down here? You come, maybe you coming back to be Jesus in 2020, 2033. Maybe you are, or 20, not 2033. I meant to say 3033. You know what I'm saying? Or 3333 if the planet is still planeting. If that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Drive a black pickup truck. What are you talking about? Whatever country you travel to, all you know are going to come back into Bridgeport, Connecticut. Nah, I don't know what you're saying. See? You see? Everybody ain't gonna know what I'm saying, and that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. But just protect your energy at all costs, love, chosen ones, man, and stay focused. Ask the creator, ask the all in all to fill you overflowing abundantly with your purpose. Keep a forceful shield of protection down and around you, and stay vigilant with your energy. Stay vigilant with your thoughts. Stay vigilant. You know what I'm saying? Watch what you eat and put into your body. Watch what you receive and put into your brain and into your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Watch those who you hold company with, who you share your bed with, who you share your plate with, who you share your food with, who you share your conversation with. Be vigilant and guard against, those who mean you no love. Hey Carla, what's going on? Good afternoon. I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad to see you here. Do you really think when you selling your soul to the devil, you are coming back? When you sell well, you said the devil. So if you believe in the devil and the contracts that go along with the devil, then if you sell your soul to the devil that you believe is the devil, then you believe that the devil's in hell, right? So if you sell your soul to that devil, then I guess you're going to hell because you believe in those contracts and you believe in a place called hell where a devil dwells. So that's where you're going. I don't believe that. I believe when a person sell their soul, they trap their soul down here for a certain amount of time, not necessarily forever, but until that soul learns its lesson. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you believe in heaven and hell and you're a Christian and you sell your soul because you believe in heaven and hell as a Christian, right? And you got tired of being poor, or you got tired of going through what you was going through, and you believe in all the tenets of the Bible, right? And then the devil approaches you and say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna give you like it approached Jesus in the fourth chapter of I think Matthew, right? When he took Jesus to the mountain and said, 'I'll give you all of these things if you bow down and worship me,' right? So if you believe in that story and you believe that the devil is in hell and on earth, if you believe the story, and you say, I'm tired of being poor, and you sell your soul, because you believe that and you're a Christian, then you're going to hell if you sell your soul. That's probably where you're going because you believe that. Because you believe that. Me, if I decided to do such a thing, then what will happen with me is I'm gonna come back here unconscious. I'm gonna go back through the triple stages of darkness, and there's gonna be a body waiting for me. There's going to be a body waiting for me, and I'm going to be here as long because I sold my soul, right? So that contract might be indefinitely, but it's not indefinite because the minute you realize what you are here for and who you are, and you vibrate with love and light energy, and your desires to get back to the all in all and pull some of the souls out of this third dimension to the higher realms and back to the all in all, the minute you realize that, then you break that, you sever that contract. You could get out of it. You could get out of it. But it might take 1,000 lifetimes to do that. So you might be stuck here in this proverbial hell for 5,000 more years because you willingly, knowingly not sell your soul. You can't sell your soul. You can't. There's no such thing as is actually selling it, meaning that it no longer belongs to you. Because if it don't belong to you, then you cease to exist. It's yours. It's the all in all. Your soul is the all in all, and your consciousness awareness of yourself is the all in all, being conscious of itself through you. So you can't sell that. But what you can do is put yourself in a contract where your particular soul won't return back to the all in all. It'll be stuck in this proverbial hell, which is the third dimensional earth. Yeah, you'll be stuck here. I am who I am, point blank. You are who you are. You are who you are. When you say I am who I am, who is I am? That's you are who you are, which is the all in all. You are the all in all. You are. You are the creator. You are the ineffable one. That's who you are. Experience itself within itself. I'm speaking to myself as I'm speaking to you, brother. So you can't sell your soul because your soul is yours, but it's not yours, if that makes any sense. It's like your life is yours, but your life ain't yours because it belongs to the all in all, right? If your soul is a life spark and it is the all in all, then you're actually in control of your soul, but it's not yours to sell because you can't sell it. How can you sell it? You would cease to exist. If you gave somebody your soul, then you would cease to exist. You can give this body up, you can give this body up. And I believe some of the brothers who's quote unquote sell their soul, what happens is another entity is in control of the vessel, like in the movie Get Out. Something else becomes in control of the vessel, and that person's consciousness is trapped inside of that body, but that person is not in control of the vessel. So it's forced to beat it until that's the physical body unalives, and then that soul comes back into reality. In the Nag Hammadi scriptures, there's a scripture where it says, they was watching while as Enoch was traveling to the seventh to the 10th heaven or the seventh heaven. I can't remember. It was either on the seventh or eighth heaven where he saw a soul being held by two demons, and the two demons gave witness against that soul as that soul was trying to enter into the heavens gates, right? The proverbial heaven gates. So the soul was standing there being judged, and as that soul was being judged, there was a demon on the right and a demon on the left of that soul, and the one demon said, it was I who drove this soul to the feelings of lust, and in its lust it caused this soul to murder. So it was basically bearing witness or testifying against that soul to not let the soul into heaven. And then the soul on the left said, it was I who actually came upon it and caused it to murder. So they're both basically saying, look, I gave it lust, the soul, the person, I gave it lust is what the demon is saying, and my lust caused it to murder. And then murder's on his other side says, yeah, after he was lustful, I'm the one that caused it to murder. And it said the judge, it didn't say God, but it said an entity, whether it's karma, The universe or whatever, it's a entity or deity that's in control of weighing a man's heart against a feather, like they do, the Egyptians said in the hall of Amenti, right? So as they was weighing this person's heart, his heart was heavier than the feather, right? It didn't use that. That's some Egyptian stuff that happens in the halls of Amenti with I think I forgot the Anubis, right? Anubis is the judge of all of that, I believe. So this is kind of like that. So it said because that person had unalived somebody, even though the two demons are the causes of it, one on the right, one on the left, they testify against that soul, saying we caused them to do this. So because of it, it said that soul was cast down into a body, that into a baby that was awaiting a new soul, and it went back through the triple stages of darkness. Its memory and consciousness was erased, and it started back over again as a baby to go through life again because it wasn't ready to make it into the proverbial heaven, which I don't believe is heaven. I just believe it was like a gate to either a higher dimension or a gate to a monad, which is an oversoul, and that oversoul, once it accumulates a certain amount of souls, it get big enough to go back to the all in all, if that makes any sense. The bus or the plane, everybody waiting on the plane to go to heaven, and it was a seat left, and they was waiting to see if you could make that seat. Well, that soul didn't make the seat because it unalived somebody due to lust, so it was sent back down into a body that was awaiting it. This is in the Nag Hammadi scriptures, right? Some scriptures that was taken out of the Bible, and that's what I believe happens. So if you sell your soul, when you get to that point, and they're gonna be like, the demon right here gonna be like, well, I was the one who put in his mind to sell his soul because he was broke and he needed money. So because he was broke and needed money, he signed that record contract and he basically sold his soul. And then the one on the left is gonna be like, I'm the one who helped him unalive his firstborn child in order to attain fame. We unalived this firstborn child to Molech or Maluch or whatever entity you want to call it, the owl, and we helped it do that. And they're gonna send your behind right back down into a body that's waiting for you to do it all over again. And then in that lifetime, there's gonna be a brother like Sowell and all the other brothers, many of brothers who gonna speak this to you. And because you've been through it 1,000 times already, you're gonna be like, damn, that sound about right. I'm ready to go this time. So what I gotta do? How do I not come back here? I'm ready to enter that gate of heaven and go to the higher dimensions, or make my journey back to the all in all, to make my journey back to the all in all. I want to get back there. I'm tired of being here. And for those who are like me, like when a person hits you with religious morals and dogma and starts saying, well, God is mad and he got jealous with you and he's an envious God, and when you start hearing that you be like, it don't sound right. It don't sound right. It might be a he at that gate, right? When the two entities bear witness against that soul, the person or the entity at that gate saying yay or nay, that might be a he. And he might have been like, nah, you ain't ready to come into the heaven's gates. Go on back down. Whether it's Jesus Christ, whether it's whoever. They said, nah, he said, you ain't ready to come here. Go on back down and try again. You ain't ready. You ain't clean enough. You ain't light enough, right? Because it said to weigh your heart against a feather. You know what weighs you down? It don't have to necessarily be murder either, right? Love can weigh you down. Yeah, human love could weigh you down. You could be up there and it's time to go into the gates and you ain't harmed nobody, but all you thinking about is your wife. "Oh, I want to just go say goodbye. I left. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. And my children, I want to tell them how much I love them. And they might be like, go on, go on, go on. That's what you need to do. We're going back down there. And then you come through the birth canals of your daughter or your son, or you know what I mean, or your wife when she remarries, because she gonna remarry. When she remarry and get pregnant, you might come in through her womb as her son now. You know what I'm saying? And then wonder why you give her so much hell on earth. Like why her son, oh, my son, he just ain't like my daughters. He just so rebellious. He don't listen to me, and because it's you. You don't even know it. Like, why you upset with your mom all the time? Because you like, why you marry on me? But you can't, and because you went back through the triple stages of darkness, you don't see her as your wife in your past life. You know what I'm saying? This is your mom now. So y'all have this love hate relationship, or this sick and twisted, like some mothers do. Like some mothers do. You know what I'm saying? To this day, y'all, like when I see people relationships with their family members and certain people, I know that that's a soul tie from a past life. I know that. I know that. You could just tell. You know what I'm saying? And I think we don't fully understand stuff, and I'm not gonna justify some of the sexual sickness that we go through down here, but a lot of it is a lot of that. A lot of it is a lot of that, like people being born back into the same family from which they came as a child when they once was a lover, or as a niece or a nephew, not knowing that that was the aunt's husband in its past life, because they're presently in their life. You know what I'm saying? And we don't understand or understand these things, so we look at it through a human eye, and we automatically judge the person on a human level, instead of understanding what could be going on spiritually, like what we don't see. And this is why, when things happen, people want to blame God all the time and be like, well, why God let this? Man, you don't have the mind of the all in all, even a God, right? Because people like to say the he God or the she God that people worship. You can't understand the mind of that he God or that she God. You couldn't even comprehend that. The only God you could comprehend is the one you're taught about, who gets mad, angry, jealous, the one that regretted making man, right? He flooded the earth and said, I regretted even making man. How you regret making us? You knew what we was going to do. You knew Eve was going to bite the apple. You knew Cain was going to slew Abel. You knew that your children was going to come down here and mix with the children of man, because it says that in Genesis chapter 6. You knew that your kids was going to come down here and mate with the women, and they was going to form giants. You knew the Nephilim was going to be here. You knew the Anunnaki was going to land here and splice genes and do. You knew all this was going to happen. So why did you get mad and unalive the whole planet when you knew it was going to happen, and then said you regretted even making us? Because that's a God. It's a he God with hands and emotions. You know what I'm saying? It's not the all in all. The all in all knew that already. I know that. I'm just a baby, and I know that. So you think for 1 second the all in all don't know and understand that, right? If I could master my jealousy and I don't get jealous over certain things, because I know, if you give my child more candy, right? I don't give my baby sugar, right? Let's just say I have a new baby right now and I'm vibrating high, and I'm like, I don't give my baby lollipops, sugar, or nothing. The only sugar my child is gonna get is in the form of fruit. And here come Auntie. And Auntie always want to give him popsicles, ices, cupcakes, strawberry. So when he see you, he gonna be happy. Like, oh, I want to go with Auntie. I don't want to be in this house. I want to go with Auntie. Or Auntie coming, he run to get dressed, or she run to get dressed. She want to go with Auntie because you gonna let her eat snacks, pizza, pork chops. You gonna let her do whatever she want to do, run around. You gonna drop off to me, and then I'm gonna have to be the authoritative figure. So I'm not gonna get jealous when my baby get happy that you come in, like, I don't want to be in this house no more. You know how we tell a kid, no, you can't go. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I hate it here. You pay all the bills. You done made their room nice and cozy. You brought the PlayStation. You got the iPhone. They got everything they want here. But when they say you can't go to Auntie and get the cupcakes and order pizza and eat Chinese food, right? Because you ain't eating like that. When you say you can't go, they're gonna say, I hate it here. My human self is wise enough to know why my child feel that way. So why would I get jealous of my child when I know why they feel that way? We could put all the religious rhetoric and all the religious texts. You could have the best explanation on why your God would be jealous of that relationship. But in all reality, us old souls know better than that. We know better than that. We know better than that. Right? We know better than that. I've been with women who was jealous of my relationship with my daughter. Yeah, I was with a woman and she was but jealous of the relationship with my own daughter, right? Because she was a baby. Whatever sick and twistedness she had in her mind, whether it was she was molested by her father, so she just believed that people do that, or she didn't have a father, so she was jealous because she didn't have a father, so she was jealous of me and my daughter's relationship, or she was just a woman who was just so possessive that she's jealous of any relationship that you have outside of your relationship with her. Whatever the cause, it is clear that she is not fully developed in her womanhood or her humanhood to not be jealous of such a relationship. Well, it's the same thing with a guy, y'all. Same thing. It's the same thing, you know? And if you ever read the Gnostic scriptures and it described that God who thought it was the most high God, it might have been the most high creator here on the third dimension under this firmament or whatever you want to call it, right? It might have been, but when the higher ups came and said, hey, you, yo, you created all of this. Hey, look up at me. And it looked up and it said, who are you? I'm the most powerful thing it is down here. Who are you? Yeah, well, you came from me. I ain't even give you permission to do all of this. Who told you to do all of this? It's like, bow down and worship. Bow down and worship me because you ain't had no business creating the sun, the moon, the stars, earth, earthlings. Nobody told you to do none of that. And it looked up and said, damn, my bad. That sounds like a God that's gonna be jealous, keep unaliving them. The people in Israel, they in the wilderness, all them years, he unalive a whole group of them. They stopped listening, he unalive another group of them. And then he tell Moses, look, I'm not even gonna go with you. He going with him, right? How you going with him? And you God. I'm not even gonna go with you no more because if I keep going with you, I'm gonna unalive all these the Israelites because they not listening. So I'm gonna fall back and let my angel go with y'all. Because if I continue to go with y'all, I'm gonna unalive all of them because they ain't listening to me. That sounds like that God. I was like, yo, I'm the best. I'm the biggest. I created all of this. Look at everything that I created. Look at man that I created. I'm so powerful. It's like, yo, homie, you not as big. You're not powerful. It's one bigger than you. And it looks up like, oh shit. It sounds like that guy. It sounds like a child when it comes to goddom, right? If there's a goddom, if there is a pantheon of God, if we go into the Marvel universe, right? Just look at the Marvel universe, right? That guy right there sounds like Thanos. But then you got Galactus, and then you got all them other ones. Thanos is a god in his own right. You know what I'm saying? He was calling the men his children and all. Look at my children. And you don't do what Thanos say, Thanos will unalive you. You know what I'm saying? He was powerful enough. He might could take on a whole bunch of the Avengers. He had all these powers, but he was still just a God, not the all in all most high. You know what I'm saying? And Christ overstood that. That's why Christ was sent from a loving God and a righteous God and a God that overstood why we would be the way we were. So he sent an example of forget all the paperwork, forget all the books, forget all the scriptures, live like this and fill your heart with light, and you'll be able to ascend out of here. You'll be able to get off of this third dimension and come to a higher level. May not be the proverbial all in all or the perfect heaven there is, but a form of heaven until you're ready to go back to the all in all. There's always a process in the school here, y'all. People just want to shoot from kindergarten to the third grade, but all you can see is a teacher. Your teacher is flawed, right? If school if the first grade is the third dimension and your teacher is your God, then you must understand that your teacher is flawed. Your teacher ain't the all in all. Your teacher ain't the most powerful. Your teacher is set to teach you how to get out of the first grade. Might know a little bit about the from the first to the sixth grade, but when they get to college level stuff, the first grade teacher can't teach college level stuff. They might have forgot they college level stuff. They can't teach PhD because your teacher don't have a PhD. If your teacher had a PhD, it wouldn't be teaching the first grade, it'd be a college professor. So it's the same thing with these relationships with these gods and these humans' way of vibrating. They take that the first grade is all that there is, and their teacher is the creator of everything in existence, and they get stuck there. But it's some of us who already been, never mind a college degree or a PhD, we have 360 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We've been here 1,000 times over. It ain't reading a book with us, it's experiencing this thing we call life and watching human creation and watching the gods and interacting with man, and man interacting with spirits, and spirit interacting with environment, and environment interacting. You just down here just noticing, and then after a while you realize who you are, and you say, wait a minute, I'm powerful. I actually have a purpose. I'm actually untouchable. I'm actually unfuckwittable. I am. Hold on, y'all. Let me read some of this. God of the Old Testament is justice, and the New Testament of mercy. That's right. That's right. That's right. God giveth life, and God take it away. There is gods who give life, and there is gods who take it away, but there's an all in all, an equitable one that allows life to go abundantly. It don't take away, it just creates. It overstands that life is going to be taken away on its own terms. So it's not going to be the disseminator of taking life away, because it's going to happen naturally, if that makes any sense. There's not a judgment call, or well, I'm going to take your life because you did this, or I'm going to take your life because of, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Why would he be jealous of his own creation? Because some of these gods are not the creators of everything here in existence. They are creators of certain people and certain bodies and certain planets and certain spirits, but not the soul itself. So you would be jealous of a soul. Imagine you could create iPhones, right? This is the example that I give, right? You know how to make cell phones, right? But you're not AT&T or you're not Verizon. So you can make cell phones, and through the cell phones that you make, you still need Verizon, you still need AT&T, you still need all these things, right? So as you producing these cell phones, Verizon might be the carrier of some of these cell phones, and then AT&T might be the carrier of some of these cell phones, right? So you might have a relationship with AT&T. So as you making these physical phones or these physical bodies, as AT&T becomes the carrier, because AT&T resonate with you and you have a deal with AT&T, you cool with that. But every now and again, Verizon might enter that cell phone, and then when Verizon enters that cell phone realizes, wait, I could create cell phones. You're not no better than me. You just been here longer than me, because you know how to create a cell phone, but I actually can create a cell phone. I could actually go back to the all in all and make my connection, not need Verizon or AT&T or you to create me. That's when the jealousy comes in, because now the God of the Bible says, you think you bigger than me? You think you better than me? I created all of this. I created the sun, the moon, the stars. I created it. Yeah, you did, but I am the all in all. I am it that you emanated from. I emanated from the same thing that you emanated from. I'm just stuck here in this little old body because I wanted to come down here and play. I wanted to come down here to feed, fornicate, and have fun. But I emanated from the same energy or entity that you emanated from. You're actually no different from me. You just been here a little longer, and you have a more portion of the all in all, but you're further from the all in all than I am. If that makes any sense. You are the devil, or you are the negative light force, or you are darkness, right? So because you're stuck in that, then you're meant to be a part of existence, which is this physical realm, the third dimension. Some say the sixth dimension and down. So from the sixth dimension and down, this is your physical dwelling place, because you're stuck in this physicality, because you've been stuck in this physicality. I don't have to be stuck in this physicality. If y'all remember the movie on the Marvel joint, Doctor Strange, put it in the chat if you remember the movie, the Doctor Strange movie. Do you remember when Doctor Strange kept getting unalived by Galactus? Remember, he kept popping up and Galactus kept unaliving him, and he kept popping up and Galactus kept unaliving him. And then Galactus was like, yo, I'm going to keep unaliving you. And then Doctor Strange said, if you keep unaliving me, a human, Doctor Strange was a human, but every time he got unalived, he go back in time and he'll come back up to Galactus. It's a part of the movie. Galactus was trying to destroy a whole planet, because this is actual entities and energies, y'all. It's showing you how Galactus was a higher being, and this being fed off the energy off of whole planets and solar systems. It was so powerful that it absorbed planets and solar systems. But here, Doctor Strange became in tune with himself, and he realized the only way I could stop Galactus is to go up there. And when he came to Galactus, Galactus kept unaliving him. He kept coming back. And every time he came back, Galactus said, I'm going to keep unaliving you. And you know what the little human said? He said, if you keep unaliving me, I'm going to keep regenerating my soul, and you're going to keep having to unalive me. You're going to be stuck here with me for eternity, unaliving me. So you're going to become my slave because I'm going to make you keep having to unalive me. And as powerful as Galactus was, he realized, damn, this little human figured it out. If he knows that he's going to keep coming back. So if I keep unaliving him, I'm not going to have the energy or the time to feed on all these planets. I'm gonna be stuck here with this human, waiting for him to come back just to unalive him. So it showed you how this one lowly human had a god in his clutches, because that god was a jealous, envious god who only overstood what he overstood in his physical realm. So he figured out how to trap Galactus in his greed. So he had to focus on that one little soul. And in turn, he saved his planet. Galactus said, well, I'm gonna go devour a whole nother planet, because he figured it out. And he can trap me in the entanglement of having to keep unaliving him, because he gonna keep coming back. So let me just leave planet Earth alone, and let me go absorb another planet in another galaxy, because this human figured out how to control as powerful as I am. And that's what that's what we go through. A lot of y'all are just bow down to Galactus and just be like, please don't unalive my planet, and he'll deal with you until he get mad and unalive your planet, not realizing that y'all emanate from the same all in all. He's just stuck in his state of needing to feed on planets. He's stuck in that state for ages, until he figures it out and reverses his karmatic will and returns back to the all in all. So why would he not be jealous of you, because you actually have the opportunity to go back to the all in all? And these demons and that are here, the spirit of some of the Nephilim and the fallen giants and all of that's here. Some of them came through a fabric that was ripped in time, space, and matter, and they came from the fourth, fifth, or sixth dimension, and they're here. There's a lot of shit here, but a lot of that shit that's here, they're stuck. They're basically NPCs in this reality, and they're stuck here, and they hate you, because if you go within yourself and activate your star tetrahedron, your macabre, you can get out of here. You can get out of here. You can get out of prison. It's like in jail, right? When the guys got life, they be hating the niggas that got short time. And they can't wait to put a knife in your hand or make you do something so you could be stuck there with them. And this is the same thing with these entities and energies. We're actually more powerful than them. They're older than us. They're more wiser than us. And they're, as far as worldly wisdom goes, right? But they can't create. They can't create. Some of them have free will, some of them don't. Like in the Quran, they say, some of the smokeless fire, they have free will. But all jinns don't have free will. All demons don't have free will. The majority of them don't. They can only be what they are, right? Like light and dark. Light is light, dark is forced to be dark. So some entities that vibrate in darkness are forced to be dark. That's all they can be. Positive and negative. Negative is might be the overall energy with darkness, right? It might be negative, might be the father, and then darkness is the sun, and then everything that vibrates under darkness, fear, hate, luck, all of them might fall under there. Some of them have to be that on this third dimension of reality. They have to be that, because there has to be a certain level of darkness here. There has to be a certain level of physicality and fear here, because this is what holds everything together in this physical realm, if that makes any sense, right? Photons, protons, neutrons, what is it? Carbon, hydrogen, all those things that are held together, well, they're vibrating together. And it says that dark matter is what holds everything together. This is what they say, y'all. I'm just going by, I'm not a metaphysicist, but I read enough metaphysics stuff to say a little bit on it, right? And they say if darkness is the vibration that holds everything in matter together, or this third dimensional physical, if darkness is what holds it together, then we need darkness in order to exist in this physical realm, right? So some of these disseminators of darkness, the devil, Lucifer, whatever you want to call them, some of them have to be in the physical realm. They have to be a part of it, whether they're physically physical or just an entity or energy outside of physicality that governs physicality, like negative, dark, gravity, karma. All it has to be here. We need it. If karma left, then everything would be reckless, right? If gravity left, this earth would spin out of its orbit and we'll all be wherever we at, if you believe we're on a round earth. Because some people say we're on a flat earth, right? At the bottom of an ocean under a firmament. So we need gravity, we need darkness, we need in this physical reality. So if that's the case, don't you think that those who are forced to be here would hate you because you can get out? Right? You ever see the movies when they have the not Eternals, but the ones who live forever. They get tired of living too, right? I think it was in Hancock. Was it Hancock? Where they was tired of living. There's a few movies like that where there's an entity that's it doesn't unalive, and it's like, yo, I'm tired, I'm stuck here. Like, I'm tired of it. It's not necessarily tired of living, it's tired of living in this reality, this realm, having to feed off of the energies of people, having to feed off of the sex of people, having to enter or find a human host to have sex, or to find a human host to be Michael Jackson, or to find a human host to be R. Kelly. They live their whole existence over and over and over and over, and they're never fulfilled. That's why when we have a spiritual attachment, no matter how much sex we get, how much food we eat, how much we're never fulfilled, because they're never fulfilled. They're empty vessels. No matter how much money, sex, fame, or power they get, they're always constantly gonna want more. This is why some of the richest people always there is never enough. And you say to yourself, why do the rich not give out money? Why Jay-Z don't just go to his projects and give out $1 million? It's because even though he got $1 billion, it's not enough for him. So if he gave out $2 million, he gonna feel like that's $2 million less for me having 10 billion or 20 billion. I want 20 billion. So if I give out 100 million, that's 100 million I'm gonna have to make back up, because my goal is to have 100 billion. They're never filled, they're empty vessels. So they are who they father are. That's why Christ said, I tell you, you are not from the Most High. Your father is Satan, right? That people act according to the energy or entity that they're connected to. This is why they're never satisfied. This is why they're never filled. This is why they would hate you, the bigger ones and the humans. This is why the chosen ones or the children of the all in all are hated for no reason. You come in, somebody just hates you or jealous of you. It's because of who you are, based on what morals you are judging the one true God. What do you mean coming down to play? Sounds like I meant coming down to play. My bad, because the chat was moving a little bit. What I mean by coming down to play is like when the children of Enoch was on the mountain and they were looking down at the children of Cain, right? Having fun. It means when I was a part of the all in all, or maybe a oversoul or munah, I wanted to come down here. I wanted to experience life, because the all in all, we are just the all in all experience in life. That's what we are. So at some point, we wanted to come down here and play. We wanted to come down here and have sex and fornicate, or no, you have to be nothing bad. We probably wanted to come down here to be in love. We probably wanted to come down here to have children and create bodies for more souls or more part of the all in all to enter into this realm of reality. But we wanted to come down here. We wanted to indulge. People always say the fallen angels, as far as like demons or angels that was with God or Satan himself. There's a microcosm and a macrocosm to everything in existence, as above, so below. So there might have been a fallen angel, let's say Lucifer, right? If you believe the Bible story. So the devil fell, boom. He wanted to be like God, meaning he wanted to create, he wanted to be in control, he wanted to be in power, right? So he got tired of his existence as an exalted angel in the realm of God or in heaven, and he came down here. He fell, right? And then you got the story of the Enoch with the fallen angels, and then they were highly exalted, but then they came down, right? If those are the children of God in Genesis chapter 6, so they left a heavenly realm to come down here to fornicate and to rule on Earth and to be powerful on Earth, right? And then you might have the Anunnaki, who might be alien beings from another realm in reality or another planet or another vibration. And they came here to be God and to make man and to be powerful, right? And then us as so-called human souls, right? We may have fell too. Most of us are fallen angels too. We was up in another realm of reality and we wanted to come down and have fun. We wanted to experience life. Imagine being, if the most high creator, the all in all is an ocean, right? And we're all in this ocean. The minute you become conscious in that ocean, because that ocean may not have one consciousness, the consciousness of the ocean overall might be the all in all, if that makes any sense. Like, we have a collective conscious down here on earth, and it's, if you walk off the side of a mountain, you're going to fall to your death. That's our collective consciousness. So that's what happens, because our collective consciousness says that that's going to happen. We have a collective consciousness of unaliving. So we have birthdays because we're counting our birthdays. And then when you get to a certain birthday, you unalive, because that's our collective consciousness. So in that vastness of the all in all, right? When we return back to that ocean that we call God, within that ocean, we was in that ocean. And once we became conscious in that ocean, we said, I don't want to sit here in this ocean. I want to be a river. I want to turn to a vapor and become a raindrop and fall back down and spread to see what's going on the shores and set us in the ocean. So a lot of us made a conscious decision to come down here to this third dimensional Earth, or other planets you might have not even had started here. You decided to come down here to enjoy life and experience it. And now you're spending your whole physical soul existence trying to make it back. But some of us get so caught up in down here that we don't make it back. And you might have to get cleaned up to make it back. You might have to, you're not just gonna go right back. You might only go to the proverbial heaven, right? That Christ said gonna come out of the sky, because it's measurements. It measured the heaven. It told you what it looked like. It got streets. You don't have to eat. You live forever. You in a physical body or spiritual body, praising that all in all entity on the throne for the rest of the days, right? That might be a step up to the proverbial all in all. You might have to go there for what we consider eternity before you can vibrate high enough to get back to that ocean. That's what I believe. That's what I know. That's what I know. That's what I know. If I say that's what I believe, then it sounds like I read it somewhere or somebody told me. Negative, because death and devastation, you could never win with just negativity in life. We create and crave balance. Of course, we're water. We're water. Water always trying to find its level. We're always trying to find our level. We're in duality. We're in everything that emanated from the all in all existed within duality. The all in all is the ocean. It's an ocean, right? And outside of that ocean, the first movement, because you have the one is the ocean, right? So outside of that first movement became two, which is duality. One of once the something emanated from the ocean as light, something emanated from that ocean as dark, something emanated from that ocean as positive, something emanated from that ocean as negative, something emanated from that ocean as positive, I mean male, feminine, female, and one emanated from that motion, masculine. That's duality. So from those two, everything in existence formed. Everything. So the all in all, the ineffable one, the one that she emanated from and he emanated from, that light came from, that dark came from, positive, negative, that all in all, how could that all in all ever be jealous of whatever emanated from the two entities that became consciousness within itself and decided to create? Or even it may not even decide, it might have been some creators are just creators. Like, for instance, you don't think your thoughts just happen, but your thought is a creation, right? So if I was a vibrating high, right? If I was a Galactus, so to speak, of the Marvel comics, right? My thoughts may create something instantaneously. My thoughts, I'm not in control of all of my thoughts. But imagine you being so powerful, you being a God to where everything you thought became a creation, right? This may have been the second motion out from the all in all. If some call it Sophia, right? So if Sophia is the feminine or the wisdom aspect of the all in all, Sophia might have just, her thoughts might have emanated galaxies and planets and gravity, truth, honesty. All of these things might have just emanated from her as a forethought, because that's what it says. It says it was a forethought, right? So if she is the negative feminine aspect, right? If she is wisdom, right? If she is the spirit, right? Then everything that emanated from spirit, negative, came from her. And if her male counterpart was the counterpart that made physicality, then he thought, and as he thought, planets were created, or the building blocks for planets, far as photons, neutrons, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, all of these things that came into creation before the Big Bang. All of these things might have emanated from the two, the duality that emanated from the all in all. And they begin to create without even thinking about or wanting to create. And as these things been created, we're still within the all in all. And us being a part of the all in all while all these things are created, we're like, wow, look what's going on down there as we became consciousness. And it don't have to be me as me and you, our small little tiny cells was in the all in all and we became conscious within ourselves. No, a monad, or oversoul, like they have the 12 signs of the zodiac. So just for a lack of a better understanding, Leo became consciousness. So everybody who emanated from Leo has Leo's attributes, because we came from an oversoul, a monad called Leo, or Cancer, or Pisces, or so forth and so forth. So no, not you and yourself, but your oversoul, your monad, that might be Leo, Cancer, Capricorn. I'm not saying that it's a god and nothing to worship. I'm just, for a lack of a better understanding, not you and yourself, a oversoul. So that oversoul of Cancer went to go enjoy everything that was going on as light and dark, positive and negative, things begin to spawn from them and emanate from them into creation, right? So now Leo, Cancer, Gemini want to go play. And as they go and travel through these realms and realities that's being created, you spawn from that. Just like when you go, if you sitting at home and you go cheat on your wife and you go have relations with 5 women, you ain't consciously created, what happens there, but you created it, right? The physical body, as you impregnate these different women, or you get pregnated by a man, is because you left home and you went somewhere and a piece of your spirit impregnated somebody. And it don't have to be a physical creation, right? I could just go cheat and don't have sexual relationships and create a baby, but I might have created hate from this woman because we had one night stand and I never went back to see her. So I birthed hate within her. I might have had a joyful time with this woman, but I got a girlfriend, so I never came back. So I might have birthed joy in her now. I introduced her to Kalani or R. Kelly. So now she listens to R. Kelly all the time. So now I birthed R. Kelly or Kalani within her. We didn't have a child, but I gave birth to something because I left my spirit with her. If y'all understand what I'm saying. Sometimes with these big oversouls and these big gods, what you call, they give birth to entities and energies just by being present. Just the same way you leave your energy and entity on people just coming in communication with people. I'm from New York. I hang around PA people and I say son a lot. Next thing you know, she your son or whatever lingo you come up, they'll start speaking like you just talk. That is your spirit. You left a piece of your spirit. So something that is greater than you, more vast than you, if it leaves its spirit can be an actual spirit that can enter a body or take on a body because they're bigger than we are. I'm talking about these oversouls. Same way we have children and our dogs take on our personality, and our children or a neighborhood pick up the slang that you say or dress the way you dress. Imagine being an oversoul, y'all. Imagine being an oversoul. Imagine being something that spirits emanate from. And man, those are all demons giving you this secret knowledge, but they are all given to lead you away from the true God. Okay. That's okay, beloved. For oh yeah, I know that's Jesus. For so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. Jesus is Lord. Amen, amen, and amen. Amen, amen. Uh I appreciate the Christian brothers and sisters who are here. I will never attack your belief system because I'm not attacking your beliefs. I mean, well, you're gonna say that because you believe what you believe. And I actually believe what you believe, and it's okay for you to believe what you believe. But uh if you say it's a demon or a demon that gave me these overstandings or whatever it is to lead me away, how could you lead me away from a God that I mean, the all in all creator that I serve? How could it lead me away when it is I actually praise the all in all? I may not praise what you consider to be God, and that's okay. You're going to say no because your indoctrination says that I'm supposed to say he, Jesus, his father, is the creator of the all in all, and that's what you want me to believe. And if I don't believe that, or I don't receive Christ the way you receive him, then I'm going to hell. And if you came here just to tell me that, then you're wasting your time. There's something more you could be doing with your Saturday afternoon if what you believe is right and exact. There's so much more you could be doing. You could be down at the homeless shelter passing out food. You could be down there praying over you. I'm sure there's somebody in your family who has a sex demon. I'm sure there's somebody who has the spirit of drug addiction. There's so much more you could be doing with your time and your love and light from the God that you serve, that you shouldn't be here, because I wouldn't. I don't go on devil worshiper pages and try to bring them to what I believe, because it's not for me to do that. It's not for me to do that. I have way more much to do to those who want to vibrate high and who want to be reminded of who they are, that I'm not going to against that to debate or to try to bring somebody. If what you believe that I got this from demons and spirits or whatever, then you know there's no saving me. So don't waste your time. Why waste your time? And I'm not being funny or saying like don't be here. That's not what, because I love you as my brother in Christ, and and love and light, and the good God that you believe to be the most high loving God and caring God, and who sent Christ to us to save the world. I believe everything that you believe. I just don't believe it in the way that you believe it. So your gripe is not with me. Your fight is not with me. Your fight is the fight off the spirit of homosexuality, the spirit of drug addiction, the spirit of death and despair that's in people that I know you know. Save your prayers and energy for those who are completely lost, who don't know God, who don't know Christ. And you may not think that I know Christ, and that's okay. But save it for those, because I do receive Jesus Christ, Yeshua Yahweh, Jesus Christ, Emmanuel, whatever you call him, as my Lord and Savior, as my perfect example of what we down here to do. So after I said that, then there should be no reason you should be in here going at me about rhetoric. Because if you're a Baptist, then you would do the same thing with a 7-day Avenger or Jehovah's Witness or a Pentecostal, right? It's the same. So why go at the Pentecostal or go at the Baptist because a certain piece of your doctrine and your dogma is different from another fellow Christian? Why go at them? Why waste your time? There's so much more you could be doing down here than to go at somebody who actually believes what you believe, just a little different. I'm not your enemy. Don't waste your time here. Don't waste your time. Take your love and light energy and heal someone that needs healing. Bring someone who is far away from Christ closer to Christ, if you can do so. If you have the authority and the anointings to do so, do that. Wasting your time in this live, you wasting your time in this live. You're not going to change what I think. You can't. I've cast out demons in the name of Christ. And I'm not bragging. I'm not trying to say you haven't or you're not powerful. I'm telling you that I've cast out demons in the name of Christ. I'm telling you that I've healed myself and others in the name of Christ. I'm telling you that I've done that. So I am not your enemy, and I am not one that you can teach. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it with you. I love you as my brothers and sisters in Christ. I thank you for your scriptures. Always put up scriptures. If you feel like I'm not saying nothing wrong, right? Just put up scripture for me. And if I don't know it, and I'll write it down. I read the Bible 1,000 times, so I'm gonna know it. But break it down for me. Give me overstanding. But please, Don't waste your time and energy here because there's so much more in this fight. There's so many more people you should be leading to Christ. And there's a reason why people don't come to Christ. A lot of people don't, not only in the fact that a lot of people are not supposed to, right? Because Christ even said to the Sadducees and the Pharisees, like, you are the children of Satan. I know your father. Your father is Satan. You worship in the synagogue of Satan. So you must know and understand that too. You're not Christ, and it's not your fight either. That's why I don't go on Satanist panels or Muslims panels or whoever that I feel don't agree with what I agree with 1000%. Even Christian panels, I go in there, but I be quiet. I just listen. I don't care what I believe or what I know, right? Being a Gnostic Christian, meaning those who know, right? What I'm able to do is I sit there and I listen to the brothers and sisters, and I go to scripture with them, and I praise God at their level of understanding. And I sit there and say he and everything that they saying, and it's because it's okay. It's all right. They're not my enemies. You know what I'm saying? And when they get me to talking and they say, brother, you know the words so well, you know the Bible so well, and they want to get me to take a stance on a certain thing. And the minute I don't take that stance, oh brother, you just told me I knew the Bible. You just called me your brother. You just had so much love for me. But the minute I told you that I know we reincarnate, then there's a problem. And then because and then when I try to show them where reincarnation is mentioned in the Bible multiple occasions, they're going to use doctrine and dogma to argue me. And now we're just arguing instead of building in Christ. It's okay. It's okay. But I appreciate y'all and I still love y'all. I don't disagree, brother. I just like to discuss theology. I love to discuss theology. Like is an understatement. As long as you love to discuss theology, thank you. I don't think I was talking to you though. It was somebody who said that demons gave me my insight. I don't think you said that. I was talking more to that person that said that demons gave me my insight. And I actually don't I'm not upset. I love when it happens. You know why? Because it reminds me of when Christ and when they said that he cast out demons because of Beelzebub, right? And he said, how could Satan go against Satan? A house divided amongst us against itself cannot stand. So I like when people come and say that because they start saying the same thing that was said to Christ. He was healing people, he was pulling out demons, he was casting spirits away, and they said, "Oh, that ain't of God, brother." So even if I shown you that I cast out demons, even if I shown you that me saying that name, I seen a spirit flee from a person, I seen their eyes change from dim to bright. Right in the moment the spirit left and they apologized to me, I handed a brother some water with crystals in it that I spoke love and light and healing in Christ into, and his brother came back to his natural consciousness and told me he'd been in that state since 1996. When I've done these wonderful acts in the name of Christ, because my dogma or what I read or what I've done is different from what you were taught by your pastor, you're gonna say that it was the devil helped me do it, or it wasn't God, or it's not for me to whatever the case may be, because you're gonna go by what you were indoctrinated with or your dogma. I understand that. Christ went through the same thing. He knew the word, he knew the scripture, but he was actually working. He wasn't sitting in the church, proverbial church, just with the best seat and the best dressed every Sunday. He was outside doing the work. He was outside doing the work. And they was right there while he was doing the work, telling them that he wasn't doing the work, that it was the devil work he was doing, but he was actually doing the work. I feel like it's the same thing. I'm going against the keepers of the law of Moses all over again, but now it's the keepers of the law of Christ. It's the Christians that I'm going against, who represents a Christian sect that came from another sect, that came from another sect, that came from another sect. And you can say that, but if you didn't do your studies and understand what happened with Martin Luther King when he left the papacy and he hanged a note on the church doors, what happens after that in the 1500s and how many sects came from the Protestant sect that he came from. So whatever your Christian dogma is, it's a set from a set from a set from a set, which is people having one different belief from another, then another, then another, then another, and one person, a human being. Whatever Christianity you adhere to was created by a human being. You could say it's the word of God, but I'm telling you, it was created by a human being because it was taken from the papacy who was in control of the church after Christ was gone. The church of Antioch automatically went under the govern of the Roman Catholics, the Romans at the time, excuse me, which ultimately became the Roman Catholics. So the Christianity in its purest form is Christianity of the Essenes. The Essenes. They're more of a monkhood, a priesthood, like the Nazarenes. The Essenes and the Nazarenes didn't go into the church. The Christianity that we have here in America and the one that's popular all over the world came through the Roman Catholic Church, came through the papacy. If you cut your hair and you don't practice dietary practices and you wear your hair down and you're not covered up like a Muslim, you practice what was taught by the Roman Catholic Church, and you're coming in here with religious dogma. So I'm Christ all over again, going against the teachers of the law, telling me what they read while I'm out here doing the work. I'm not your enemy. I love you. You may not receive me, but I receive you because I understand where you're at and why you're there. And it's okay to be there. That's where your soul is meant for you to be. That's where this is your experience. I can't give you my experience and my purpose. I can only tell you what I'm doing. I just don't want to be your enemy. Invite me to your church because I'm going to come. I'm going to sit in the back and I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen. I'm not even going to ask no questions. I'm just going to listen. I'm going to praise and I'm going to worship. And whether you say he God or she God, I'm going to agree with you because I know what you mean and I know where you're trying to go. And I know we're trying to go maybe not to the same place, but ultimately we might not be on the same destination, but we definitely going to end up in the same place. That was me, LOL. I don't mean to offend you, man. I just hear say, bro, oh, peace and love. The dogma is stands by its church. Jesus founded on the Holy Catholic Church that has apostle succession. Yeah, but oh, that was you. Well, yeah, that's okay, brother. That's okay for you to feel that way, man. I'm just saying, I'm not your enemy, bro. I'm not, man. You know what I mean? I just, you know, I didn't get what I got here reading. I actually got what I got before I really was a beware of new age stuff that crept into the original doctrine. There is no original doctrine though, because the Christian doctrine went through the papacy, and when it went through the papacy, it was connected with a lot of pagan beliefs. If we're going to be true and speak, and then when we get into the King James version of the Bible, the reason why we accept most Christians accept the King James Bible and not, let's just say, the Ethiopian Bible, is because King James Bible was the most popular Bible in the 1500s. King James also wrote books on demonology. King James was not an apostle. So if we're going to talk dogma and we're going to talk religion, when brothers come up here and they quote the King James Bible and they think that it's the devil, no, it is people who actually study and sat down and took the time out to realize who King James was. And if you know who King James was, you would feel weird quoting his particular Bible because he wrote a host of books on demonology and he wasn't even a Christian. He just wrote a Bible because it was money, and he made the most popular Bible in the 15th century. I think it's the 14th century because it's always a century behind. So in the 14th century, King James comprised the Bible, took Leonardo da Vinci's depiction of his son and put that as the face of Jesus. And this is the Bible that he put out, y'all. Doesn't mean it's the most right and exact Bible. It's just the most right and exact Bible because it was the most popular Bible. But when you sit in a cell for 18 years in solitary confinement, and you got a King James version, and you got a new revised version, and you got a Catholic Bible, a new American Catholic Bible, then you got a Malta Catholic Bible, then you got the Vulgate. You know what the Vulgate is? Then you got the Septuagint, and then you have a Torah, and then you have, and then you go to Genesis chapter 6, and you turn all 6 Bibles to Genesis chapter 6, and all 6 Bibles say something powerful. Then you get to the King James Bible, and he changed love into hate. or fear. All the other ones say love, and then the King James says fear. Or you get to Bell and the Dragon, and then you see that in the King James, there's no Bell and the Dragon. The story ain't even there. The whole chapter's gone. Or you get to Corinthians when it talks about changing your physical suit into a spiritual one, and he changes the whole narrative. Every time you read all these different Bibles, from Catholic to New Revised to Gideon's Bible, you can read all these Bibles. Every time you get to the King James Bible, it says the worst thing. I'm not, and it's not, and I promise y'all, I'm not saying this from a standpoint of these brothers who read everything and think they know everything and they want to attack Christianity, so they're reading just to attack you, right? Because I've been that brother too. And I fought with these brothers, not fighting, but warring with religious dogma and what we know in our man knowledge. And as you come across these things, I don't want y'all to think that I'm one of these brothers by attacking King James to attack your religion. That's not what I'm doing. The only thing I'm showing you is you're holding you're using religion and dogma to combat what I'm saying, but then you're quoting stuff from someone. If you did your own history, sometimes you have to do your own due diligence and do your own history. And you do your own history, then you're gonna say you're quoting the worst Bible known to man. As far as Christianity goes, the King James Bible is the worst Bible, and it was made by somebody who was not a Christian. He wasn't a Christian. The Enochian Bible from Ethiopia was made by Christian Essenes. These were Nazarenes. These were brothers who don't eat meat, who let their hair grow. They prayed, they meditated. These are monks, and they held this Ethiopian Bible to a certain esteem for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So you would rather get a Bible from brothers who was in the mountain praying and meditating than to get a Bible from King James. You would rather the Bible because of from who it came from, especially when you find out this guy and he actually wrote books on demonology. It's not a conspiracy. Whole books, and not books basically saying to fight demonology. I'm talking about books on how to summon demons. And this is the guy who book y'all love to put in the chat. So I know that you haven't studied. You was given something and you held it because it was the most popular belief or the most popular book of that time, and it was passed to pastors, especially African Americans here in America. It was passed to the pastor, and the pastor taught what he knew. So he'd say, "Oh nope, this is the complete word of God, written by King James, who was not a godly man." Come on, y'all. I'm not attacking y'all. I'm not gonna get into the Council of Nicaea and the Council of Trent. I'm not gonna get into 325 and Constantine. I'm not even gonna get into all of that. But when you start to get into all of that, you're gonna give me something that came through Romans who were pagans. So most of the stuff you're taught was enmeshed with paganism. So before you tell me that my stuff is coming from demons and it's new wave and all this other stuff, there's nothing more new wave than the King James Bible and some of the belief systems that Christians was passed down from the papacy, the Roman Catholic Church. The Christianity didn't survive outside of Catholicism. It did not. It was spread through Catholicism. There was no separate Christian sect on their own or society that thrived outside of the papacy. Nowhere in the history of man. You don't even have to be religious. All you have to do is study world history. There was no church, Christian church. There was actually. It was the Essenes. It was the brothers in Africa and Ethiopia, or right up under Egyptology, which we got the Coptic text from the Nag Hammadi scriptures and some of the Dead Sea Scrolls and some of these things that we're finding that are totally different from what you're reading inside the King James Version. King James was of the papacy. They came from the Romans and the British and all of those monarchs and the monarchy. They all come from the same monarchy. Christopher Columbus and his crew, they moved with those type of Catholicism. Queen Elizabeth, Isabella from Spain, all of them went off of Catholicism. Same thing. And this is what y'all have, and you're gonna put it in my chat like you're teaching me something. There's more to do down here than to argue dogma, y'all. King James wrote nothing. How do you find out who created the universe? How do you find out who created the universe? What do you mean, how do you find out? There's no finding out until you find out. You have to know. You have to know. It has to be in you. It's not going to be in everybody. Like, there is no finding out. You have to know that the universe was created. The all in all is the universe. The all in all is everything in existence. From the all in all spawn two emotions, positive and negative, and these what spawned from that emanated what we consider the universe. What we consider the universe depends on what you believe the universe is too, because that could go into whole dogmatic belief systems and what the actual universe is. If we're in a universe, because we're supposed to be on a flat uh piece of land with a dome over it, surrounded by an ice wall underwater. So in 2026, you got to be real careful about the way you word things and question things, because everything is word semantics and indoctrination. No, you are showing you feel for I feel for BS. King James financed the book. He wrote nothing. Whether he wrote it, financed it, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter whether he wrote it or not. He may have not wrote the books on demonology, but they was ascribed to him, whether he wrote it or not. We know he didn't write it because the teachings are older than him. The teachings are older than King James. This is the 15th century, 14th century. So we know that he didn't make up the stories. The stories are older than him. He comprised it. Whether he paid somebody to, you got to remember, this is a long time ago. You had to have money to get things done. People who had books had money. There was a time when if you had books, that means you had money. If you had scrolls, scriptures, anything like that, you had to have money because those things need to be maintained. So 9 times out of 10, whoever comprised a book wasn't the actual author. He paid somebody to author the book. So I'm saying he was behind it, whether he wrote it himself or not. We know he didn't make the stories up. He might have changed some. He might have added some things in there. He might have embellished, but no, I didn't. I know he didn't write it. You're using word semantics and you're studying too hard on what's being said instead of feeling what's being said. So was the Ethiopian Bible used by the group that you're speaking of, or pre-Rome? The Essenes. The Essenes. Christ was an Essene. The Essenes. These are the Nazarenes. Yes, the Essenes were in Africa. They were not in Israel. They were not up north. They were in Africa. The Essenes. This is believed to who basically prepared Mary for what she was going to undertake as the mother of Yeshua, Yahweh, Jesus the Christ, Emmanuel. Isa, whatever you decide to call them, they were supposedly the ones who, raised her up to be who she was. She was a Levite. She was a Levite who was a priesthood. So the Essenes and the Nazarites, it's a priesthood. You know what I'm saying? Not a priest. Don't think about the Catholic priest with the things on. And no, we're talking about men who might have been in robes, long hair, locks hanging down, beards. They probably didn't eat no meat. They wasn't sexually fornicating. We're not talking about a priesthood as far as what we conceive a priest to be through the Roman Catholic Church, through the papacy. No, these were probably men of color who were monks, the Essenes. Tinfoil hat, just wrapped differently up. Well, a tinfoil hat, I don't need it. I don't You actually right, but it's more advanced than a tinfoil hat because I vibrate on a frequency right here. So I don't need a tinfoil hat because you see this right here, my macabre, my star tetrahedron, my chakras are aligned and vibrating so high that I don't need a tinfoil hat to keep the frequency from attacking my brain waves. So I would have a tinfoil hat if I didn't have the force field shield of protection down around me. Then I probably would need a tinfoil hat to keep the Blu-ray and the 5G, 6G, and Bluetooth and all the frequencies that's going on around me to keep it outside from influencing my mind, my thought pattern, and my vibration. So I get what you're saying with the tinfoil hat, but I don't need a tinfoil hat. I have a force field shield of protection down and around me. You see it? You never heard you never heard the term I used? Thank you for giving me more to research. I'm currently researching the Ethiopian Bible. It's a good one. It has the books of Enoch in there, and it'll show you that a lot of the entities see the book of Enoch. A lot of people, like in the ancient alien circles, they like to quote the book of Enoch because it shows they use it as a term that he flew out of here on a spaceship, right? Which I believe he did. But the reason why I like the book of Enoch a lot is because of it's a lot of reasons. One, it shows you that these different races are soul groups. We're different soul groups down here. Like if you want to use the 12 zodiacs, right? I use that as an example because it clearly shows you how a Cancer child born to a Gemini mother and father has the attributes of Cancer, even though his parents are Geminis, right? So if these zodiacs are soul groups, then it could show you how a Gemini could be born to a Cancer, or a Gemini could be born to a Cancer and a Pisces. You understand what I'm saying? So I like the book of Enoch because it gives more lights to the monad that somebody said this is new age. Well, a monad is a new age term to describe these oversouls, which most of us emanate from these oversouls. So when you understand that, and I like the book of Enoch because it breaks down demons. It speaks of people being controlled by an outside force. It speaks of the fallen angels. It speaks of the souls of the spirits of the giants that were drowned in the flood being still here, not physical, but being spirits. It talks about that. And the early Christian churches and religious fathers had a big back and forth. Like it was a guy named Oregon. Google him. Oregon. He was the main one that was like, yo, what happened when Christ was on the earth is still happening now. We need to cast out demons. Some of y'all are still possessed. Some of y'all have spirits from the fallen angels or spirits from the giants that are still here after the flood. Some of y'all are possessed with them. So he was still trying to cast out spirits, and he was trying to keep people's spiritual eye open, while the church in a whole was like, well, no, demons don't exist. They that all happened in the flood. It all went away in the flood. There's nothing happening here. No, that doesn't exist. So the church was split, and this is where a lot of the Gnostic Christians and the Gnostic Jews came from, and the Kabbalahs and all of these things. The church separated because there was a whole host of people that didn't believe in spirituality. They didn't believe that you could call down spirit, that angels could manifest themselves. They didn't believe in none of that. They just went by the doctrine. And this is where Christianity is at today. They just go by the doctrine. They say they're in a spiritual war, but if you tell them, you know, they don't understand like real spiritual stuff, because they could be like, oh, we're in a spiritual war. And the minute they crackhead sister steal out their purse, oh, I can't stand her. She's a thief. I don't want her in my house. She's a thief. She don't understand that she has a spirit of death upon her, or she has the spirit of addiction upon her. They get mad at the person and forget and don't speak to the spirit in that person, or try to cast out that spirit of addiction out of their sister. You know, and still love their sister, overstanding that their sister has a spirit of addiction on them. So they'll say they're in a spiritual war, but the minute a human being attacks them, they attack the human being back, whether in words or whatever. They don't handle it through a spiritual mind. They don't understand that our weapons are not for a physical war, but for a war of principalities and spirits in high places. They don't understand that. They'll forget all about the scripture and get human and get mad again and go to church every Sunday and don't understand the spiritual war. And I love them because I understand why they don't understand. I get it. I'm not gonna fight them or attack them, but please don't attack me because you just coming at me with dogma. Sorry, I apologize, y'all. New age isn't really new age. That's a fact. New age ain't. New age is not new age. Most of that new age stuff is it goes back to Egypt. And some of the new age stuff with the seven, you see these seven candles, you see those seven chakras right there, y'all? There's seven chakras inside the human body. You have more than seven, but there's seven in the physical body, right? I could show y'all scriptures where it talks about the seven candles, and the Jews call it the menorah, right? They call it the menorah. The menorah has, y'all know the menorah, it has the seven candles like this, and one in the middle, and then it has the seven things going off. Well, in scripture, it talks about the menorah a lot. And when Jesus says, he constantly says, your light, don't hide your light under a lampstand. He constantly refers to us as beings of light. In Zechariah, when the angels stripped the man of his dirty garments, which is his flesh, and he's standing before the throne, it said he had a candle, a menorah, seven candles. We thinking that they mean candles, but that means his aura. That means his chakra system. And people say that chakras are new, but it's actually ancient. And it's quoted in the Bible when John describes Christ in Revelations chapter 1 and 14, I think it is. And it says, when it says he had hair of wool, right? His skin was like brass burnt in the furnace, or copper burnt in the furnace, right? It said that, and it said, I looked in the midst of him and I saw what, y'all? Seven candles. Now, religious doctrine is going to say those were the seven churches, right? But if we believe that we are a light force, if we believe that we are children of light, so if he saw Christ and saw his seven candles, I believe this is what he saw. I believe that's what he saw. Those are the seven candles that he saw. This stuff been around since back then. A lot of the chakra systems come from the Vedas, right? And which is the Hindus and all of that. They were doing this thousands of years before Christianity, y'all. Thousands of years before Christianity. So if you take the Vedas with the chakras and the Kundalini and the reincarnation and karma and all these things that they say, it was actually around before Christianity. So what you call New Age is not New Age. It's not. I, for lack of a better term, I overstand or understand why you say it's New Age, but it's not new. It's just showing you so you could read your Bible and understand what it meant by the seven candles. That's what it means by the seven candles. That's your light. This is why it's giving reference to human beings and candles and lights inside the Bible. It's not just your light as a just being a good person. It's actually your seven chakra system, your seven planetary systems, as above, so below. We are the microcosm to the macrocosm. We are small planets. We are small solar systems in ourselves and outside of ourselves, with your husband, wife, sister, brother, cousin. We are small solar systems. We have to complement each other and vibrate high and complement each other. It's just a microcosm to the macrocosm. Just like when I got crystals, right? They gonna say, "Oh, that's New Age." He dealing with crystal. The brother dealing with crystal. Your Bible in Genesis and Leviticus, when the brothers put on the breastplate of righteousness to go into uh the holy of holies, right? With the Ark of the Covenant, God told them to put together these 12 crystals, which 12 zodiac, 12 crystals. So when you get into the zodiac, oh, they believe in zodiac. Oh, that's the new age, but the zodiac is in the scripture. It's in there. The constellation of Orion is in the Bible. They talk about constellations in Job. When God is scorning Job because Job think he knows something, he was like, "Where were you when I created Orion's belt? Where were you when I?" He's talking about constellations. The Magi, which found Christ's star, they said how they found Christ. They said they follow his what? His star. That's astrology. And Magi is magicians. That's what a Magi is. It is a magician. Magi is magic without the C. It's M-A-G-I, Magi. You put a C or a K at the end of Magi and you have magic. They followed Christ's star. They were the first to pay homage to Christ. They were astrologists. So that's New Age, but it's in the Bible. It didn't say nothing was wrong with them. It said why some Bibles say wise men. It says wise men in some. This is what happens when you read hundreds and hundreds of Bibles. Then you know some will say the Magi, some will say three wise men. But they were wise men and they were Magi. They were both. They were magical wise men who followed the stars to astrology and found Christ, and they were the first to pay homage to Christ. But when you know talk about these things, people, oh, that's the devil. Okay, but they was using these crystals in the beginning on a breastplate of righteousness. They was using 12 crystals, which they're gonna say for the 12 tribes of Judah. But you got to remember when they put together the um the uh the breastplate of righteousness, the 12 tribes didn't exist yet. And these crystals are communicative crystals. You got to remember too that they use the Urim and the Thummim. They use things to get communication. All in the Old Testament, they use things for communication practices. So a lot of the stuff in there would have been considered New Age too. But if you don't understand and your pastor telling you, oh, that's the devil, that's the don't the zodiac, don't believe in the zodiac. I don't believe in the zodiac. I just know it exists. I don't believe in demons. I just know they exist. I don't believe in aliens. I just know they exist. I believe in Yeshua, Yahweh, Jesus the Christ. I believe in him, Emmanuel. I believe in him. I believe in him. I don't believe in them. And I understand that he God is his father who might be a monah, or oversoul. Oversoul, not the same God from the Old Testament that got mad and unalived everybody and gave Moses the law on tablets, because Moses was the first to break the law. He broke the law with his physical hands. He was given a physical law. Soon as he came out of the mountains, they was worshiping a physical God, and he broke the law with his hands. He slammed down the law and he broke it. He had to go get another one. He broke the law because this was a physical law. Christ said that was a law written by hands. This law I'm going to write on your heart, meaning it's a spiritual law. It's a spiritual kinship. It's a spiritual thing. My family is a spiritual family. That's why they said, Christ, your mother and your brothers is outside. He said, my brothers and mother is the ones who follow the will of the God that I'm serving. He said, forget them. I might have been born to her. We might have both been born to the same mother and the same father, but that don't mean that they're my brothers and sisters. This is a spiritual thing. This is a monad thing. Just like the three brothers that came out of the Noah's Ark with the father. They were all had the same mother and father. So how was there three different nations? Ham and Ham came from Ham, and the Canaanites came from Ham, right? And then it was Japheth and Shem, three different sons, three different nations. That Israel came out of Shem. The Semitics came out of Shem. Ham is Cush. Ham is supposed to be the African and the Canaanites, and Japheth, I think, is the Philistines or whoever, and a whole bunch of them. But they all, so many different nations sprouted for those three sons. When they had the same mother and the same father, how did three different nations, how did so many nations come from three men who had the same mother and the same father? The same way when Rebecca had Jacob, who became Israel, which the children of Israel came from, and his brother name was Esau, which is the father of Edomites. They both were born to Rebecca and Isaac. Same mother, same father. They're twins exactly. How does two twins come out of the same mother and the same father, but be two completely different nations? Because at that time, it didn't say in after the flood, but it said it at that time. Said you have two different nations in your womb. How were they two different nations? They were two different nations because they came from two different souls. They came from two different monads. They came from two different places. Same mother, same father, two different people. Two different people. The same way your two parents could be both Scorpios, but you're born you come out as a Gemini, and you have all the traits that they say a Gemini is, right? When you read it, you don't have to believe in anything. I don't believe in it. I just understand the vibrations of it, right? And then you read everything, and you're everything that a Gemini is to be. You act just like they say you're supposed to act. It's because your soul emanated from a place called Gemini or entity named Gemini. So you have those traits. That's just how it goes. You might be different from your mother and father in that way. You might look like your father, you may talk like your father and walk like your father, right? But you're gonna have the attributes of what we consider the zodiac, is because this is where your soul came into existence at a time where Gemini was in control. So you came in at that time, just like apples sprout at a certain time and bananas and grapes and this and that. You coming in the grape if you're born when grapes come in. I'm just saying, I don't know when he's I'm from New York City, so I don't know about agriculture. I'm just making an example, right? There's a certain time of the year where strawberries come, or grapes or peaches or plums. They can only come in that season, but that's when they come in, and that's when you get a grape. Same thing with our soul groups and our personalities. You come in a certain time, you're going to vibrate at a certain time. You can have the same mother and the same father, but you could be completely different from them because you're not them. You're not of them. You came from somewhere else. Christ came through, but Joseph wasn't his father, but it lists his lineage, right? This is just an example, right? We know that Mary was a Levite. If you study your Bible, then you know that. Mary was a Levite because she was related to John's mother, who was a Levite. They were Levites. So, how did Jesus come from the tribe of Judah if his mother was a Levite? They list Joseph as a Levite and they gave his lineage as Christ's lineage, but that's not his physical father. So, if he never had relationships with Mary to create Christ, then why are we saying that Christ came from Judah, David, Perez, all the way back to Shem, who was the third son of which three, that's why Christ, everything was in threes with Christ, because Christ came from the third, which he replaced Abel. Shem replaced Abel because Abel was unalive by Cain. So Shem was the third child. So Christ came from the third child, who everybody was Shemitic who came to Israel. Israel was of Shemitic, and he had 12 sons, which 12 is 3 2. This 3 keep coming back to spiritual, right? So why did they list Christ coming through that soul group if his mother was a Levite and Joseph wasn't his real father? Right? And people use that argument to say, well, they had sex, because that's why they say list Joseph as his lineage back to David, back to Shem, back to Israel, right? Well, what if I told you that they may not have had physical relations to create Christ? And the reason why Christ came from the same lineage as David, even though Joseph didn't have relationships with Mary, is because his soul group. He came from one of the 12 tribes or one of the 12 zodiacs. I'm just saying zodiac for a lack of a better term, y'all. He came from that tribe. His soul emanated from there, no matter who his physical parent was. If that makes any sense. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. If that makes any sense. Having a spiritual awakening changed everything for me. I grew up Catholic, but yeah, having a spiritual awakening changed everything in me too. having a spiritual awakening. Oh, I didn't just have one. I was actually given one, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just have mine naturally. Some brothers cleaned me up. I had a lot of entities connected to me. You know what I mean? And these brothers saw the light in me. They saw that I was from the same monad that they was from, and these brothers saw what I was going through, and they healed me. Christ is a divine spark in us all, and these brothers healed me. I used to get so mad that I used to blow the power in my building. I get so mad. I used to blow my cell phones. I had 2 cell phones because I was in the streets, right? I would get in an argument with my wife at the time, and I would blow my cell phone. I would blow the power in the building. I could short car batteries. That's how much shit I had attached to me. And once they remove those entities, I begin to watch movies, and then I'll see when a possession or a ghost was coming around, or evil spirit or a demon. You see the lights flicker, right? If y'all watch Stranger Things, when a Gorgon, which is nothing but the demiurge, that's all they are, is a demiurge. The Gorgon, the demiurge is the same thing, right? You see the lights flicker, 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 flicker. In Chucky, when that entity possessed the doll of Chucky, you saw the lightning, you saw the lights flash in all them scary movies. That's because demons and dark ones and entities, they absorb power, they take power. Humans is their best power source, but you could tell they're around because they're takers. That's all they do is take. So when they're around, they're taking the energy from the light bulb or the cell phone or your car battery or whatever has a energy source. They take. That's all they know how to do is take. They're consumers, right, of energy. So after these things was pulled up off of me, then I begin to realize, because the brothers saw that I was blowing the power out in a whole New York City apartment building, y'all. I'm talking about 40, 50, 60 apartment building, 6-story buildings. I'm blowing the power in the building. I was in Staten Island. I'll blow the power in the house. I'll blow the power in my phone. I'll blow the power in my car battery. I need to keep recharging my car battery. It was me, but I didn't know that. The brother knew that. And when he took me and cleaned me up, then when I begin to watch movies, I begin to see that why I was blowing the power in things. I begin to understand why I couldn't remember doing stuff to people, why I couldn't remember somebody or stabbing somebody or beating somebody up. I couldn't remember. And I had like my little homies, bragging about my acts of valor and how I did this and how I did that. And I couldn't remember. And the more they talk about it, and because there's 2 people, I know they're not making it up. And I begin to remember bits and pieces of it, but I really couldn't remember. I might remember the disrespect, I might remember the purpose, I might remember that the person gave up the block or gave me their chain or gave me their money or whatever stupidness I was doing, but I didn't remember the why. And they would tell me, nah, he didn't just give it to you, you did this. And I'd be like, I did? Yeah, you asked him for his chain, he said no, and you did this. And I'll be like, and I don't remember the act. It's because I had spiritual attachments. So my spiritual awakening, I would love to be like, oh, I just came to this awakening and I just was so vibrating so high, so ready for God that nah, this brothers pulled me out and saved me. They changed. And from that point on, I've been in the spiritual warfare. That point on, have I slipped back into darkness at times? I have. Have I still got mad at the human being for doing what human beings do? I have. I still do. I check it now in my mind. I check it in my heart. Sometimes I could prevent it before it even happened, but every so often I fall right back into it. It happens. I'm not going to act like I'm holier than thou. I'm still going through it every single day, but I check it a lot more now, and in myself, because people be so quick to tell somebody else what they need to fix. Oh, I've met so many people like that in this world. They be so quick to tell you what they need to fix, and they still, as long as you here, you got this, you living in sin, because this is sin, y'all. This is sin. As long as you need to sleep, eat, and you gonna be going through it. As long as you in this, as long as you in this skin, you gonna be going through it. So before I could try to tell y'all what you better do and what you should be doing, man, best to believe I'm working on me. Best to believe it. Best to believe constantly, consistently, praying and meditating for force field shields of protection, praying and meditating for anger, lust, jealousy, envy, and all those things to remove itself from my thought pattern, from my heart, or those attacks all the time. I could go rewatch the videos live. It might be easier, especially if you're taking notes. Oh man, taking notes, y'all make me feel special. Why is lust so strong? Because it's cardinal, one, and a sexual relationship is the most spiritual thing you can do down here or in this dimension. It's one of the most spiritual things you can do down here. So if it's the most spiritual and one of the most powerful things, then what do you think? The attachment to it is going to be twice as strong. The entities and energies attached to the spirit of sex are going to be strong. Well, lust, I should say, because lust is a spirit. Cancel that energy. It's a spirit. It ain't in the biblical, but when you read the Nag Hammadi scriptures that I always reference, it lists lust as an entity, it's an actual being, just like anger, envy, jealousy. They are all entities and energies we need to fight against. So lust is going to be a powerful one, and it might fall under adultery because anything outside of the union of marriage is lustful and adulterous. So adultery might be the big one, and then lust, jealousy, fornication, molestation, all of them, sodomy, all of them might fall under adultery, because adultery is a sexual act outside of a covenant, or for what people call a marriage, but I'm not talking a paperwork marriage that the papacy has put into our realm of reality and forced us to wear these rings of Saturn. We're not supposed to wear rings. The book of Enoch could tell you that we're not supposed to wear rings, earrings, tattoos, none of that. All of that stuff is not even in the Bible. And if a lot of these churches read the books of Enoch, they would feel funny about wearing makeup and earrings and adornments. It says it in actual Leviticus about earrings and tattoos. It does actually. It says adornment. An adornment is something that you put to alter your physical body. Glasses could be considered an adornment, right? This could be considered an adornment. You know what I mean? Because I can have on regular glasses. I don't need gold Cartiers. I don't need, I didn't need these. I got a cheaper pair. I just don't wear them. You know what I'm saying? So an adornment is earrings and all these things. So when they introduced the ring of Saturn and earrings and stuff like that, they knew what they was doing. And then for them to give us this paperwork in this ring that the papacy has to justify or vindicate our marriage is bullshit. The same way them vindicating you being able to travel and you need a license to travel, or you need land tax and property tax for something that you should own. It's a way of saying you own it, but through me. You have to come to me in order to fully own this, or to really be married, or to have a right to travel, or have a right to live. You have to come to me. You have to go through me. That's what this government did. But the government is just a a draconian system that comes from the papacy, who puts all the rules in play that we go through down here on this on planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of got off track. But yeah, that's why lust is so hard, because lust is connected to one of the most sacred acts or spiritual acts we can do down here. And it's the act to procreate. That's what it was created for, to procreate, for two beings to become one. And that's actually why Christ said to love God with all your heart and to see your brother as yourself, is because the more we become one, the more we come together collectively, the better we resemble God. Like Christ said, with two or more gathered in my name, there am I also, right? Because the more of us that comes together, coming together is a reflection of God. The more of us together, right? It said the church is the body of Christ. So it overstood that when we come together, we make the church, we make the body. You know what I mean? So to come together on a human level in that sense is a powerful thing. So it's gonna be hard. Lust is the hard one of the hard is one of my hardest. I kind of I ain't got rid of anger, but anger and lust is my one and two biggest entities that I fight all the time. It's still not unchecked. Anger is easier than lust because lust is like, oh man, it ain't that bad. You know what I mean? She gave consent. She pretty. I'm pretty. It did say be fruitful and multiply. You can make all the excuses in the world to fornicate. You know what I'm saying? Violence is one thing. You know what I mean? Well, I ain't harming nobody. She's with it. I'm with it. We could do it. You know what I'm saying? But it is because you're inviting stuff in too. It's not just. I don't believe it's like when people say fornication. It's not just about fornication, like the actual act in itself. Why it's a bad thing? It's a bad thing because if you vibrating high and you give yourself to somebody who's not vibrating the way you're vibrating, you're gonna take on their spirit. You're gonna take on a piece of them. You're gonna take on some of their attributes, some of their spirits, some of their generational curses, some of their karma. Everything they got going on is gonna attach itself to you. You know what I'm saying? Two pretty people. Nah, it's not about being pretty. You got to be vibrating on the same level. To join in that way, it'd be good to fast together, to pray together, to meditate together, and start vibrating on the same, level before y'all have that interaction. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been able to get there yet because I still attach myself to women, knowing doggone well they not vibrating how I'm vibrating. I'm being honest. I'll meet a sister and she might be love and light, and she got this big bright spirit about her. And she generally a good person, and I'll be like, oh, there you go. I could get her to come over and fast, pray, and meditate with me, and it never happens. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying she ain't a good person, but they don't never get to fasting, praying, and meditating. So as I miss my day of prayer, meditation, or my 4 days or 5 days, because I go days sometimes. Since I've been on live, I haven't been. I've been going in because I understand that I'm being attacked. I'm gonna be attacked, and I need protection in order to say the things that I'm saying. So since I've been on live, I've been vigilant. I might miss one day, but I don't miss two. But before this, you know what I mean? I'll be and you must know that you have to be with someone who say, "Well, baby, did you pray today? Baby, did you meditate today? Are you on a fast?" Oh, okay. When they say, "Oh, I'll make a steak," they be like, "Are you fasting today?" "Yeah, I'm fasting." "Well, I'm gonna make that when you get off of your fast, or I'm gonna fast with you, or I'm gonna pray with you." It's important to have your helpmate or your partner to be on the same type of time you on. It's imperative, never mind important, because as your weaker vessel, your attacks are gonna come through that person that you're having relationships with. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have to be vibrating on the same type of time because, say for instance, I'm praying, I'm meditating, I might have fasted for 3 days. I'm gonna give y'all an example because this happened to me. I might be fasting and praying for 3 days, y'all. And then the day when I break my fast and I've been praying and meditating, my phone might ring and it might be an ex from my past that I might have hit up 8 months ago, right? We done broke up 8 months ago. We broke up. And then in that 8 months, I got lonely because lust creeped in, and I text one of my exes, right? This girl may not have text me back the whole entire time. So here we good again. We've been good for a while now. And I done prayed and meditated all up, all good. And she know that I'm breaking my fast. So she make me my best meal, my favorite meal. We got church music playing in the background and all of that. And then while I'm in the kitchen waiting for my meal, she come out. "Hmm, who the fuck is this?" now, now I'm defending myself, right? Now here I go being physical again. I'm defending myself. Now she mad, and I'm mad. She mad. I done gave up my whole 3 days. I done fast. I've been praying the whole three. I done gave it all up. Cause now I'm defending myself. Now I'm mad that she mad. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, well, that's when we broke up. Well, we was broken up. Nobody told you to hit that girl. Why you hit that girl after we broke? Because we was broken up. Now I get back into the fact we broke up because she was wrong and she might have been, right? But instead of me being strong enough to know what's happening, now I get right back into it. We broke up because you did XYZ. And now here we go. Now I'm mad, upset, angry. Then I eat the doggone meal. Then later that night, or sometime right in that moment, we have some wild sex to make up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And now it was amazing. Now it's, oh baby, I'm sorry, I love you so much, but I done gave it all up. Now we done. fight, fed, fornicate. Right there. We done did it right there. So you need someone to be like, baby, take your phone, because I know you done prayed. We done been praying. We done meditated. We done broke our fast. We about to break our fast. And now look, she may not know that this is from 8 months ago or now. She might even in her mind think that I just texted this girl yesterday. Well, she know I ain't texted yesterday because we've been meditating and praying, so she know I ain't gonna do that. But she might think that this is recent. But she understands that we're under attack. So she gonna be like, I ain't even paying that no mind. I ain't paying that no mind. And then we could laugh about it and we could move on, and then I could explain what happened if it needs to even be explained. Sometimes if you got a woman or a man who's vibrating so high, you might go to explain and they be like, I don't even want to hear it. Just don't let it happen again though. You know what I'm saying? Just don't let it happen again though. You be like, "No." You know what that means? It ain't that sometimes because they vibrating so high, but the underlying thing is just don't let it happen again because we're gonna have a problem. You know what I'm saying? But you need that. I need that. I'm keeping 100,000% sure because I do need somebody to stay on top of me. You know what I mean? When things going bad, baby, come on, let's pray. Let's go into a fast or a meditation or something really traumatic happens, a big thing happens, and then she knows or we know that we need to come together and pray twice as hard, meditate twice as hard, go on a fast twice as hard. She already praying over me while I'm sleeping. I'm praying over her while she's sleeping. You know what I'm saying? We're both asking for force field shields of protection. Man, you know how powerful you'll be. You'll be like the Fantastic Four. You know what I'm saying? You know how powerful you'll be? Double tap the screen, y'all. I appreciate it. I'm from the Bronx, beloved. That's where I'm from, but I'm from planet Earth, man. It's all a part of the experience. If we traveling souls, I don't ever want to come back to Earth again. I'm good. Nah, me neither. Me neither. I don't want to be back down here neither, y'all. I don't want to be back down here neither, man. You know what I'm saying? But if what I'm saying resonate with you, tap the screen, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'm not a teacher nor a preacher. I'm just here to remind y'all who we are. You know what I'm saying? This is just a part of my journey. And I'm really here for my soul group. I'm really here for those who I'm reminding who they are as they remind me who I am. I'm gonna figure out how to hook this chat up to the app on here. I got the app on my phone. It's I forgot it, but they say you could do live setups, and I seen people on YouTube doing like TikTok, but there's a way to hook the app up. But I'm gonna hook it up. I don't want to be the only one talking. I want people to be able to call in and stuff like that. Living in the prayer, you have to live in prayer, especially in the Bronx. You have to live in prayer. You have to live in a relationship. And I don't mean it don't have to be a religious prayer. It just could be you talking to the creator, you talking to the God of your overstanding, you talking to the universe and having a relationship, a continuous relationship, and continuously asking for protection, continuously sending love. And like I say too, some prayers and meditations don't ask for nothing. Sometimes you could pray or meditate and just give. Like ask the all in all, ask the creator to fill you overflowing with love abundantly and let your love emanate throughout your community. Let your love emanate to all those who are sick in a hospital bed, to all those giving birth at this moment, to all those who are trying to find the all in all, the creator, to all those who are trying to vibrate from love and light, to all those souls who are tired of reincarnation, who want to go back to the all in all. Ask that they find their way. Ask. Sometimes you just want to love too. You don't have to ask for a blessing or a gift or protection. Sometimes just ask to heighten your vibration so you could give too. You know what I'm saying? To give. Ask for that partner that's going to pray with you and meditate with you and vibrate high with you. Ask for your soul group. Ask for people to meet you. That's one of the good things about this particular channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be here talking, but there's so much more that I want to say, that I'm going to say, that I'm not going to say on here. And I already see a bunch of people that are consistently here, that are my soul group, that are my brothers and sisters that's in this chat. and we're gonna have our own little separate thing where we really get into real serious detail because the brother that I'm still in communication with, man, he gave me my spiritual awakening. He be telling me, now I could give up 17 homicides. I could sit in the federal government building and talk about all the gang activity, who was the leader, who unalived who, why it happened. I did all of that and I felt so good and free to do what I did. But when it comes to this, it ain't for everybody. It ain't for everybody, y'all. It's not. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna try to sit up here and sound too special and give too much just for likes and clicks. This is a real thing. This right behind me, this is a real thing. This is who we are. And once we activate this, our motherships, our star tetrahedrons, which is our force field shield of protection, which is our mothership out of here, which is the light that emanates around us. So our aura is bright, our love is bright. When we learn to do this and do that, that ain't for everybody because it ain't for everybody. It's not. Some people are meant to be down here, what they call NPCs. I don't really believe nobody's an NPC. It's just so impersonal. It takes away from the beauty of the human experience to call somebody an NPC. But I get the concept. It's a non-player character, meaning some people are here to not really master the game. Some people are here just to drown. Everybody's not here to surf or to ride on a boat. Some people just are here to drown and keep a certain amount of souls here so people can have this experience. There has to be a first grade. When a class graduate, the first grade has to be there for the next kindergartners to come to the first grade. Just because that whole class learns and graduates to the second grade, don't mean that the second grade cease to exist, right? Some people have to get left back. The teachers have to be there. That's just how it goes. Everybody doesn't graduate. Some people have to be there for the second grade. To me especially, I was in the first grade like 3 times. I'm not being funny. I'm being honest. I was in the first grade like 3 times, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I went to school in the Bronx. I went to Catholic school in the Bronx. I went to Queen. I went to about 6 elementary schools, y'all. Could you imagine that? Elementary schools from first to sixth grade. I went to 6 elementary school. I went to school in Queens. I don't remember the name of it. I went to St. Simon Stock Catholic School in the Bronx. I went to PS2. I went to PS70. I went to PS110, and I went to PS4. 6 schools. So when people come on here and talk about New Age and all this and all that, man, listen, that brother had a bunch of demons connected to him, man. I was terrible, but polite and calm. My grandmother raised me to be polite and calm. So to the teachers, I was yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I didn't disrespect the teachers. They would tell my grandmother all the time, he's so kind and he is so polite to me, and he's so smart, but he just has a problem with his hands. And I did. I was terrible, y'all. I was terrible. I ain't making no excuses. And even saying that I had spiritual attachments is not an excuse. It's just real. It was just real. You know what I'm saying? I grew up watching my mother be assaulted sexually and physically, and I was assaulted sexually and physically. And so that happened before the first grade. So by the time I got to the first grade, I already was angry already. You know what I mean? It ain't like the guys I seen beating on my mother and assaulting my mother. These kids is my age. So if you took my crayon, I was gonna punch on you. Just you took my crayon, I'm gonna hit you. And then all I had to do was say, Grandma, he hit me first. And my grandmother come in there, her big black self, and she'd be like, baby, what happened? He hit me. Oh, it was all right. Yeah, he hit my baby. My baby said he hit him. He ain't had no business putting his hands on my baby. My baby gonna defend himself. And I was good. So I could punch you, and I knew there was no repercussions whatsoever. I was still getting ice cream. I still could watch TV. I wasn't gonna put on no punishment. All I had to do was say the boy hit me first, and grandma was gonna be right there. And I love her to death, y'all. She was doing what she felt was best for me. Growing up in the Bronx, growing up on a block where we had to fight. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't realize that she was feeding those entities that was attached to me, feeding the spirit of anger. You know what I'm saying? She didn't realize that. All she knew was he's a boy. He growing up in his Bronx, in his neighborhood, and it's bad, and they beat up little boys and they take stuff from little boys. He not gonna be one of them boys that's getting beat up on. And that's what happened. And here it was. It took me to the age of 33 to realize that I was fucking possessed. I don't, most people have spiritual attachments. I believe that my spiritual attachment became full on possession in the act of, like, not saying I crawled up walls or nothing, or my head spun around or nothing like that. In the act of violence, I was full on. I've had women think that I was on drugs when got into doing a violent state, and they'd be like, "Your eyes and the way you look." You know, when I used to be out in Connecticut, they smoke a lot of dust out there. It's PCP, which is a straight gateway to demons. Straight, you'll be instantly possessed with that particular drug, right? But where I was at in Connecticut, where I used to be at, people used to see me do violence, women, and they used to be like, people used to thought I was smoking dust. And I never smoked PCP a day in my life. People thought that I was dusted. When I used to enact violence, people used to be like, he's smoking, he got high on dust. And I'm like, why would y'all think that I smoke? What makes you think that I smoke dust? I barely smoke weed. I barely drink. Because the way you act that night at the bar when you did that, you was dusted. I know when somebody dusted. No, what it was they know when somebody's possessed. Because the brothers they seen smoke dust might have did some of the things that I did, but I wasn't even on dust. I was possessed. So they recognized the spirit in my eyes. They recognized, looking into the window of the soul, they knew that that wasn't me, that it was other than myself, but they could only equate it to the drug. But I wasn't high as far as dust goes, but I did have a spirit upon me. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm just reminding you and letting you know what might go on with yourself. It may not be violence, but it may be, sexual relations due to things that may have happened to you as a young boy or a young woman. You know what I'm saying? Or some of these things of alcoholism or gambling or lust that you may inherit it from a family member. This is why you were, assaulted by a family member, somebody who shouldn't have been doing the things they were doing to you. Some of these things are generational curses, because I've been around guys who've unalived 5 people, 6 people, 11 people. When I was in the penitentiary, I was around a guy who unalived 11. I had a bunkie that unalived more than 10 people. And the same eyes that they had, sometimes I see those same eyes in a stripper. When I used to take strippers out of the strip club, feeding my lust, right? My spirit of lust, I would see those same nobody home eyes in the eyes of a stripper. You know what I'm saying? The same exact eyes. And she ain't unalive. Well, maybe I could assume that she didn't unalive nobody, but she still had a spirit that was in control that made it easier for her to sell her body, or made her easier for her to leave the strip club with the next drug dealer, or the dude with the money. You know what I'm saying? Something else took control over her, because that entity took control over her when she was a little girl, going through what she was going through sexually with whatever family member that was doing whatever they was doing. Something came in and numbed her to that. So that's why she came numb in her later years in the things she was doing with her body. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It's just a different entity, different system, different person, different curses, different lifestyle, but the same thing. Here, because we meet at the same level. We both in the strip club looking for something. She looking for money. I'm looking for lust. Looking for the same thing. You know what I'm saying? We, you know, did I know Fox 5? Nah, my brothers knew Fox 5 though. Everybody that I know knew him, but I didn't know him. I believe that brother was had entities connected to him too. You know what I'm saying? On the front day of the paper, it said that he said he was possessed by demons. And he was. He probably was possessed by the spirit of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? A chosen one, just on the wrong path. That brother Fox 5 was. You know what I'm saying? He was a chosen one, just on the wrong path. A lot of us are. A lot of us are. A lot of us. That brother who unalived them 8 children, his own 8 children, he might have been a chosen one, just on the wrong path. And sometimes when you get into the spirit of adultery and stuff and all those other things come into play, you get so wrapped up in that. I just believe that I believe the difference with me and a lot of people is I believe my purpose is to lead a lot of people out because I've been unwillingly and attempting to be a leader, and I've always been a leader. You know what I'm saying? I always been a leader. Like I started my own little gang when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? In my school system, I did something in elementary school to fight off the kids who was coming from junior high school to oppress us. I rallied up the whole school to fight against the guys who was coming from junior high school. And I told all of the students to grab a kitchen knife and to arm themselves with kitchen knives. And anybody from PS2, y'all know I'm not making this up. And then somehow the administration found out. They had this big old meeting, had everybody in the auditorium. They had seized all these weapons. And I basically had started a revolution to basically stop the kids coming from 148, which was a junior high school on Washington Avenue. I mean on Webster Washington Avenue, no, Third Avenue, to stop them from coming up to our elementary school, basically harassing us. And I told everybody tomorrow we're gonna bring weapons and we're gonna stash the weapon. This is before jail too. We stashing weapons in the grass outside the school. And as the days went on, the administration found out and they seized all these weapons. It sounded like jail, but it was actually elementary school. And I've started that. I started a little street gang in my neighborhood, Stick Up Assassins, Lord forgive me. And then I went to prison and was like a leader. And then in my neighborhood, I was a leader. And then in my house, I was a leader because I was the oldest boy out of 5 boys. You know what I'm saying? So I believe what I'm not gonna say save me because whatever your outcome is supposed to be your outcome, but I think what made me a little special or save me was the fact that I'm probably put here to lead some out for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? I have to be. I appreciate you, Carla, and I don't even be trying to say like make myself that. I'm being real. I have to be real with myself because people say that and they just the brother I forgot his name. He started his own little cult, and people start these cults and stuff like that. And some of them brothers do have a spirit of leadership, but pride and ego and you know relations with a woman takes over, and then they start fornicating with the congregation, and they want to it's going to Dr. Malachi York. It goes into David Koresh. It goes into the Israelite brother down in Florida. I go on and on and on. These brothers do have spirits of leadership, but I believe pride and ego seeps in, right? With all this righteousness and this knowledge they have, they don't learn how to check pride, ego, and when those things creep in, it can be a horrible experience. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. I got some things to do. I would love to have stayed on here much longer, but I'll be back on here 12 o'clock tonight. If y'all here, I'm not asking you to come back, but that's the time where it be most popular. Some people could encourage the wrong way to go as well. Yeah, I was everything that I said prior to my spiritual awakening. I was encouraging people to go the wrong way. I was one of those people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I keep myself and my pride in check now that I'm up here reminding us brothers and sisters who we are. I keep it in check. You know what I'm saying? And don't let pride and ego seep in. You know what I mean? Even though I was always a humble leader, but I was doing the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna be back on later tonight at 12, 11, 12ish tonight. That's the most popular time where I'm more lit. But I was just on here today because I walked through the woods and I was in there connecting, and I was like, I need to go on because I haven't been on in a few days. I've been locking everything down and doing what I have to do spiritually. But I thank y'all. I love y'all. Peace, love, and light to the community. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Marlo. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, all y'all who've been with me since the beginning. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.